come to love the literary arts? I think it was more that they took a liking to me, really. I think I've just always been a reader. I was raised in a house where there was a lot of reading, a lot of emphasis on literature, and I think, that craving for story and for music is a really pretty deep one. And so maybe in a way, it's like everyone loves the literary arts. It's just I sort of stayed with it. I don't really think as a child that I knew I was going to be a writer. I didn't have any of those fantasies, that I was going to be there penning some book. I was probably about 16 maybe when I started to write a poem a day. I was like, well, what do writers do? They have a notebook, and I'm just going to write a poem a day, and I'm going to read like 50 pages of poetry a day. I'm going to read everything that was ever written, or some sort of delusion came over me. And but again, it was stages of commitment, like any relationship. And I think that when I was in my 20s, I got serious about it, but with the seriousness of a 20-year-old. And then I don't think you ever decide that you're going to be an artist. It's like, it's like being a spouse or a parent or a friend. It's like you have to keep redeciding that you're going to stand up for these things and come through for the relationship. Well, I ended up in Santa Fe by mistake, so you may not end up using what I'm about to tell you. But I was just chasing after my first husband, Robert Winson, who was chasing after his Zen teacher who had left San Francisco. It was the quintessential sort of hippie 80s arrival. We said we're coming for 3 months or we're coming for 6 months. And I'm like, what is this place? There's no coffee. I'm totally confused by it. And of course, I've been here since 1984. I've been here a very long time. The city has, it's just been a primary influence. It's influenced me hugely. I think I had been here as a child. I'd been here in the 60s. And I had been sort of mesmerized by it, but I couldn't connect it on the map to New Jersey. It just seemed like it was somewhere else. I was very influenced when I first came here by the creative community that I encountered, the poets who were already here in the late 70s and the early 80s. I was just stunned. It seemed to be a group of people that didn't have a lot of the kind of nasty politics of poetry that you found in a big city like Boston or San Francisco. And I came here at the same time that Phil Whalen did, the beat poet, and so he was a big influence on me. And then just, what it is. I'd love to say Santa Fe is so beautiful, New Mexico is so beautiful, but really what it was I was a kid when I came here and I spent my whole adult life here. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like who I am and who the city is. It's like I grew up here. I became a person here, and I was grateful to do it in this environment. It's like I think teaching is its own thing in terms of it's a profession, and it's a profession of giving and sharing. Sometimes that seems like that's opposed to creative life, right? Creative life is about an inner life that has maybe a little hothouse environment, solitude and silence, but I think that teaching is tremendously vitalizing for me, and also I'm a bossy person, so it's good for me to teach because it takes me out. I would like to see big poems everywhere. I've been working on a project out at Santa Fe Community College. I've got something I imported, an idea from Portland, Oregon, of poles, big posts, and they're going to have poems on them. And I'm very interested in sort of installation of text. So I would like to see poetry off the page and into the street. How does that sound? Right here in Santa Fe, this very moment, the poet's role is probably to put people in touch with what they already know, to put them in touch with their feelings, to put them in touch with the physical world, with nature, with their neighborhood, with just that soft moment that you get of recognition where you're like, here I am. I'm part of a mosaic. I'm part of what's going on around me, like a little pause.